Yeah, yeah. You know, some people when they're young, they've got you know, they've got big imaginations, haven't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, some people, some children are good, you know, become good actors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, children, you know, some children, basically, some children have got bigger imaginations than others.
Of course, yeah.
You know, and imagine, you know, I think the imagination's got a lot to do with the intelligence, really. You know,
Yeah.
I think the bigger imagination you've got,
Mm.
the more intelligent you're going to be. Basically, that's what I believe anyway. You know, it's not to do with what you know. It's
Yeah.
not to do with all this knowledge.
Mm.
You know, you've got to understand knowledge is, I don't know, it's just, it's useful.
Yeah.
You know, but at the end of the day, when you're using your imagination, which is, you know, basically, you know, using your memories and putting them together, whatever, in a clever way. And you know, it's like you know, releasing a new track. You know, you got to put a lot of imagination into it. Do you know what I mean? A lot of thought. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
No, of course, yeah.
To produce something. Do you know what I
Especially in
mean?
this day and age where everything's, you know, industries are very oversaturated when it comes to certain things. So if you want your product or your music or whatever it may be is to, whatever it is that you're trying to market, you trying to make it stand out in some way. You know, from you want if you want it to be seen, you've got to make it, you
Different.
know, original, yeah, different. You know, you've got to try to capture people's attention because obviously today in this day and age, people's attention span is so short that if they're not captivated, usually within the first 5 to 15 seconds, they'll skip past your video, you know, onto the next thing. You know, don't like that, sorry, next. You know, it's just as simple as that. That's how it works because obviously we live in the age of TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, where you know, as soon as someone doesn't like something, they just, you know, swipe onto the next thing, next video, you know, swipe next video, continuous, you know. So yeah.
There's a lot out there today, basically, isn't there?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So in order to grab people's attention and in order to be, you know, in order to get your product sold or your music heard or seen and be able to try and make a living as an artist, you know, as a creative, you have to try and be kind of creative and ingenious with your marketing schemes, you know, plans, you know.
I think that you know, we are a little bit different, all of us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
And that's what's so wonderful about it. You know,
Yeah.
we're so similar. A lot of us, we're so similar. We have so many similar life experiences and everything else, but we are so different also in the way we think. Every individual has their own mind. You know, they're free to think the way they want to think and to, you know, whatever. You know. So, yeah.
I think it's also getting time. Do you know what I mean? Like at the moment in life, yeah. I mean, 10 years ago I was working all the time. Do you know what I mean? I didn't get no time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I was sort of like a family, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but now I'm getting a lot of time.
Yeah.
You know, so I'll get a lot more time to dream.
Yeah.
You know, it's beautiful.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Having time.
Yeah.
In a kind of way, you know, and I don't think a lot of people out there don't get time to use their imagination really, or you know.
Yeah.
So you, when you're at work, you can't, you know, do what you want.
Yeah.
You know, or when you want. You know, you can't, you know, like if you're sort of working in a supermarket, you know, you can't just sort of like start painting.
Yeah.
You know, in the middle of the night, whatever. You know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you want. You know, or you can't go to bed when you want. You
Yeah.
go to sleep when you want. Do you know what I mean? You're a bit.
You're on someone
You're
else's
tied
clock.
up. Well, you're tied up, aren't you?
Your time is connected to someone else's clock.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know, I don't think life is so magical.
Yeah.
You know, when I mean, I think, like I said, half the population, I think, are not enjoying life as much as they should do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
It's, you know, we're living in a world where we've got to pay our bills and we've got to find a job one way or another to pay them.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes you've got to find 2 jobs or 3 jobs.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And yeah. You know, I think like today, like things are slowly getting harder, aren't they? Where people today have got to even work more hours, really. You know, to pay their bills.
Mm.
You know,
Mm.
and the pressure is, you know, getting too
even
much.
even higher.
Well, it's getting too much.
It's
It's getting impossible. If you ask me.
For a lot of people, yeah.
You know, it's impossible. You know.
That's why there's so many. That's why there's so many frustrated people out there today. You know, people are just so sick and tired of just struggling. You know, you've got to find a way to get about that struggle. You know.
Well,
that's the only advice I can give you is, you know, you've got to find a way to get about that struggle. You've got to find a way to have multiple streams of income, you know, so you're not just relying on your job. It's good to have a job, yeah, that's great. I've got a job too. It's good to have a job, but you've got to find ways you could have different sources of income, like, you know, like, so that you're not just relying just on your job for an income. You know, you can have other side hustles where you're doing other stuff, you know, different. Especially in this day and age where people have got the internet, and people have got a mobile phone. There's so many different things you could do online. There's so many different things that you can do to make money. Like, you know, so many different side hustles people can have, you know. It's just about educating yourself, you know.
There's prostitution.
No, there's not. No, there's not.
There's all kinds of things.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there's lots of, you know.
Love is magical, isn't it? Like when you meet someone for the first time.
Yeah.
You know, you know, sort of like the first week.
Yeah. Sometimes it's longer than that. Sometimes it's more magical than the first
It's always
week.
the first, especially the first week. I think, you know.
Yeah.
You know. I think it sort of like dies. The magic dies after 20 years. You know.
It's up to the couple though.
Yeah.
It's up to the couple to keep that magic alive.
That's right.
And it is possible, but it takes a lot of time, hard work, and communication.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not easy. It's not easy, mate. Like, me and my wife have been together for 11 years now. 11 years, you know?
How long have we been together, me and you?
It's so silly. As mates, I've known you as a mate now for what? You helped me move. Well, I first met you when you helped me move in 2000 and
10 years ago, wasn't it?
2014. 8 years ago.
Yeah.
8 years ago. So I met you and we became mates 8 years ago. Yeah.
Amazing, isn't it? Isn't it just magical how quickly that time's gone?
I know my wife for 11 years, and like what I was saying is like it's not easy. You know, it can be magical. It's one of those things. Yeah, a good relationship, you know, a good marriage can be wonderful. Can be, you know, any good relationship, any good marriage can be great. You know, but it takes, especially as the more time goes by, and you know, the more, you know, it takes hard work. It's hard work. You know, it's like anything. It takes, you know, application. You know, so.
I think it can be hard work.
Can be.
But it can be easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I think like if you've got two intelligent people.
Yeah.
That
are willing to work together.
That got understanding.
Yeah.
Also respect.
Yeah.
Also appreciation.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciating each other at all times, you know, all this sort of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
You know, when I look back at my marriage, I think, looking back now, you know, it's some time ago now, you know, but looking back, when I look back now, I feel that I didn't really appreciate her as much as I should have done.
Yeah.
You know, but I was a bit young then, do you know what I mean? And I realise this now, do you know what I mean? I think, like, appreciation is a very magical thing. You know, I think appreciation is one of the most magical things in life, actually, almost. You know? Like, if you can appreciate, you know, like, especially the one that, you know, the person that you're with, yeah, you're going to enjoy life a lot more, you know, and I think that's when things become magical.
Yeah.
You know, I think appreciation's got a lot to do with that, you know, with happiness anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and happiness has got a lot to do with magic, I think, as well. You know, I think one of the best, as I said earlier on, one of the best feelings in the world, I think, you know, dancing is a beautiful feeling. You know, I love dancing. You know what I mean? I enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, especially dancing with somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, that you love.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting really close to her or whatever, and having a good time to something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but I think one of the most beautiful feelings in the world, you can't beat it, is just being in love and being with somebody that you love.
Yeah.
You know, and you're actually making love.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think you can beat that. You know.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's something worth living for, really, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, I think, don't see the purpose of life. You know, and what is the purpose of life, really? You know, really, just you know, when you think
I
about
think
it.
everyone's kind of got their own definition, don't they? You know.
I think really, the purpose of life really is to get intelligent. You know, that's number one, I think. You know.
Yeah. I think the purpose of life really is continuous growth, continuous evolution as a human being. The goal is to, well, in my opinion anyway, this is how I kind of live my life. Like, I believe the goal is to continuously, get better as a human being. You know, in every way, in every aspect. You know, to become a better person, a better, you know, if you're, a better husband, a better father, a better artist, a better friend, a better son, a better brother, better, etc. You know, to me the goal, and like you said, to become more and more intelligent as well. The goal is to become more intelligent as well, become more educated. The more educated you become, the more aware you become, the more enlightened you become, the more...
well, we all want to get wiser in life, don't we?
Yeah. But I think that's very important. Knowledge is very important in terms of, in terms of trying to become like enlightened and understanding of the world we live in and our surroundings and our, why the world is the way it is today and what's really going on and who really controls what and why shit is the way it is today.
I mean, really, like you can sort of question it, can't you? You can stand there, sort of here and question sort of why is the world like this or whatever, but you can go on all day and go in circles, do you know what I mean?
That's it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
to be honest, I don't care, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not that I don't care.
Yeah.
I do want the world to be better, or whatever, but there's nothing I can do about it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing I can change about it, and
Yeah.
I can see the world, how messy it all is,
Yeah.
But I think like it's something that everyone's got to sort out,
Yeah.
In their individual way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we're all in the kind of same boat, like for instance the shutdown. I think that shutdown was mostly for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're all struggling in our own different ways with it, whatever. I mean, it didn't affect me too much at all.
Yeah, likewise, thankfully.
Whatever. But I can see it did affect some people in a big time,
Yeah. Yeah.
Depending who you are or what situation, it was, I think it was, I think them shutting down killed more people than the actual virus.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Yeah.
But I think this shutdown was more to do with basically too many people were getting rich, saving up money and all this, and they had to sort of slam it down, Nobody can all be rich, it wouldn't work, They got to keep it so that there's 100 people poor and one person rich,
I think that whole pandemic thing, mate, was like a simulation. Almost like a simulation. How would the people behave? How would they react if there was a real pandemic? Would they do what they're told? Would they wear their masks? Would they take their vaccinations? Would they, stay 6 feet, away from each other? Will they social distance? To me, it was like a simulation. It felt like a simulation, especially after, if you look up, I talked about it before, but if you look up something called Event 201, not long before the actual pandemic happened, they did like something called Event 201, where they actually were discussing what would happen in the event of a pandemic, essentially. So to me, it feels like it was like it's just like a lot of shit that happens. It almost seemed like it was planned, like it was, you know, it was like a, you know, it was like a test run. You know, how would people behave if we, you know, if we created a pandemic, you know, and you know, would they, you know, would they agree to the curfews that we put in place? You know, would they make sure that they're home by 6 o'clock, no one's in the streets by 6 o'clock every day? You know, etc. You know, will they follow the rules? You know, so yeah.
That's a miracle that we're still alive.
Yeah, but I heard today as well that they're already discussing about another pandemic happening. You know, I saw something today. You know, even today, they were basically saying that there was this new conference that they had put together, where these people were getting together and talking about, you know, this next pandemic that could happen. You know, so
Crazy, but there you
Yeah.
go. And I just like,
yeah,
well, so I don't think that, you know, the shutdown's not really affected me much, you know, so I've not really noticed it at all.
yeah, thankfully.
Whatever, you know.
Mm.
But I know that depending who you are, what job you were doing, you know,
Yeah.
it affects you in different ways,
Yeah,
you know.
I still remember the first day it happened because I couldn't believe it. I remember going to the shops and seeing people queued up outside the shop, all
Like sheep.
like sheep, like all out, like
Cows,
six
you
feet
know.
apart. It's like 20 people outside the shop waiting to go in.
Yeah, and I remember.
And I remember like thinking, this is madness. This
And
is
I remember
absolute
going
madness.
to Tesco's and there's traffic lights sort of
Oh, yeah.
outside.
Yeah,
It went green and you can go in and
Yeah.
this, and
yeah.
it's like really, and all those plastic stuff going up. It's still up today, some places.
Still up in some places. Yeah,
I'm thinking,
Yeah.
oh,
yeah,
what kind of world we're living in? You know, it's crazy.
yeah.
You know.
It's funny though, because in a lot of places they will have like that screen up, but you still got to give them, like, say you're paying with cash, you still got to give them the money. And not only that, but like when you're around the other side, like putting all your groceries in the bags, you're still quite close to that person when you're talking to them, if you see what I mean. So like, even though like when you're going past them, there's that thing up like that, you know, the plastic thing up, you know. But when you're going around to pay and you're bagging up your groceries, you're still right next to that person, if you see what I mean, within proximity of that person. And if they're not wearing a mask or you're not wearing a mask, it just doesn't make sense.
So we went to the shop before, you know, earlier on.
Yeah.
A few hours ago, right? And I went in there and there's this big plastic screen there, like a letterbox like this, with a hall in there.
Yeah.
Big hall.
Yeah.
Like that. But the screen was really dirty and I couldn't really see it.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought, you know, this shutdown was like 3 years ago, whatever, you know, and he said, we've got this screen up there. And I'm thinking, this is crazy, you know, you know, what kind of world I'm living in, you know. But, you know, I just smile at it all, do you know what I mean? That's what you've got to do, I think, you know.
Yeah.
You know, a smile is very magical, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you think like if I smiled at you and you looked at me, you could smile back.
Yeah.
It would make you smile back, maybe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, not everyone.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you go around town with a smile on your face and people look at you, they're more likely to smile back, most
Yeah.
of them, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not all of them,
Mm.
because some people are miserable,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah. True.
You know, and that's what you've got to remember, right? You know, but I you know, I'm finding, you know, as years go by, you know, it's, like I said, I went for a big devastation losing my family, and it really hurt me, you know. And I lost total happiness for a number of years, and I had to get myself back on my feet again, which I did. And now I'm finding happiness again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's beautiful. You
Yeah.
know, I really nearly lost my life. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Mm.
You know, I really did.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm lucky to be here.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm.
it's been a real struggle for me mentally. Do you know what I mean? But it's all over.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the past.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to remember that sometimes when you're living a struggle, it's not going to be there forever.
Forever. Yeah.
You know, you will come out of it if you work at it.
Everything is temporary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I worked really hard to get my life back on track.
Yeah.
You know, basically I was homeless. Do you know what I mean? I really was. You know, and so, you know, and I feel happier, much happier actually today because I'm not married anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel that, you know, at one point I was happily married, alright, but now looking back, I think I'm a lot happier being alone, do you know what I mean, than I was being married. So I can look at different experiences, I suppose, you know, or angles, I suppose, you know, of life, you know. And I sort of view life now like I live on my own now, and I love being alone.
Yeah.
You know, it's very magical, you know, and people, there's so many people alone out there, but they don't like it, they hate it.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that feeling, alright. I've gone through that feeling. I've gone through it, you know, and I feel like, you know, I think, like, you know, like I didn't want to be alone, you know, for a number of years, you know, but now I've got used to being alone, and I'm actually enjoying it.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can.
There is a lot of peace that comes with being alone, mate. A lot of
definitely.
solitude and kind of like, you know, serenity that comes sometimes with being alone, you know. We all need a little bit of alone time, you know. Even if you're in a relationship or married or whatever, you know, everyone needs that little bit of alone time here and there to
very important.
Just have a little time with themselves, to be able to think, to be able to kind of get in tune with themselves, you know.
Very important.
Yeah.
Very important.
Sometimes you need that little bit of time just to sit down and relax your mind and just kind of, you know, just, you know, think, you know, think, not just, you know.
And I think that's another thing that people make a mistake with, you know, they don't give them any self-time, you know. I mean, I did that mistake, you know, when I was married, to be honest with you, I didn't give myself enough alone time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know, like I say, you can be happy when you're alone.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you don't get any distractions for one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're dreaming, or you just don't get any arguments, really. You know, so much. You know, so I think life can be more beautiful.
Yeah, definitely.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you know, like you can be very unhappy of being alone. Like I say, some people have lived all their lives on their own.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want that. Do you know what I mean? You know, but you know, when I look back at my life, you know, I've had a number of relationships, you know, whatever, and so now I look back, you know, I can't be lonely.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got to learn to be in tune with yourself, you know, to enjoy your own company, you know. You can talk to yourself, you know, you can find happiness within yourself, you know, you don't need external sources or people to make you happy, you know. It's all up to us as individuals to make ourselves happy, you know. And if we, you know, you can't rely on other people to make you happy, you have to make yourself happy. And if you're in a relationship, then that person's supposed to add to your happiness, you know. They're not supposed to, you know, necessarily, you know, make you happy, quote unquote. They're supposed to add to your happiness, you know. You're supposed to already be happy, you know.
Yeah.
So,
happiness is a feeling, isn't it?
too many people chase material stuff and external things to try to make them happy and make them feel happy, or you know, whatever, you know, within themselves, you know. But the only time you're going to be really happy within yourself is when you're, you know, when you're really happy with yourself. You know, you've got to, you know, got to accept yourself and you know, accept your flaws and your imperfections, and you know, try to work on them. You know, try to become a better, you know, the best version of yourself. You know.
So I mean, as you say, we're living in a material world.
Yeah.
You know, people, even I have done in the past. You know what I mean? You buy things and you end up sort of having so much stuff that you kind of get lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, and really, when you think about it, we don't really need many things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We need water.
Yeah, we need the essentials, of course. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, like, really, to be rich in life, really, you just got to be happy with what you've got.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's it.
You know, not want so much, really, in life, you know? Yeah. I mean, I'm nearly 16 now, you know, and I don't actually own my own home.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, I don't want to own my own home.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know, I'm
Yeah.
happy with what I've got.
Yeah.
I don't want anything, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? When you do die, you leave everything behind anyway. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to say goodbye to it anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know, and I think like when you do start getting a bit older, you know, you imagine when you're getting 70, you don't really feel like doing the decorating anymore. Do you know what I mean? Or anything like that, really. Do you know what I mean? You're too old to do all that stuff, really. You know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just like peace and going out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, just not interested in buying anything anymore. Do you know what I mean? At that age.
Yeah.
You with me?
Yeah.
Just had enough. You're trying to get rid of things. You know, do you know what I mean? At that age. You know, and I think like when you're younger, you start a family, whatever, and you think, oh, I've got to buy lots of things, you know, and all this, but you haven't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You've got to calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down, you know. You have got to buy things, you know. You know, like, you know, a baby needs to keep warm, you know, so you've got to buy blankets, you know, and whatever, for your baby and that. And I can't remember what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought again.
Yeah.
I'm always doing that. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Completely lost my thought.
Yeah.
You know, I went blank.
Yeah.
Do you do that?
Occasionally.
You know, that's quite amazing, isn't it? When your mind goes completely blank, it vanishes
Yeah.
and goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
Disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't even remember what I was talking about.
Yeah.
There you go.
Never mind. But yeah, go back to magic and miracles, you know.
That was magic and miracles.
That was.
How I was thinking of something and it all vanished.
And it all vanished, yeah. That was,
Suddenly.
yeah, that was, you know, magic trick in itself.
Yeah.
It was there and then it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your own mind made it disappear.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? The memories, though. Like, I mean, the imagination. You know how you can think of something and make it come true.
Yeah.
You know, or you can
Yeah.
write a song.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You know.
I'm a big believer in that, mate. I'm a big believer in manifestation. You know, and I also believe, like I always say too, as well. You can think about it and you can talk about it as much as you want. If you don't put any action in, any kind of action in behind it, you're not going to get any results. You know. Like, I'm a big believer in, of course, you should do those things, of course. You should manifest it, you should think about it, you should talk about it, you should, you know, put it out there into the universe, you know, but at the same time, you've got to put the action in that is required to get the result that you want, you know. That's so important, you know. Can't manifest anything without the action, you know. So...
Can you imagine sort of how many people come up with a really good idea, you know, but they didn't actually write it down on paper, you know, didn't write a book about it or didn't write it on film, you know, they never existed, do you know what I mean? It never, you know, I mean, there's a number of songs, for instance, the Beatles, they did a number of songs, you know, but they didn't get released, you know, and now they're starting to release them now, do you know what I mean?
Okay.
You know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like lots of stuff that have not been heard before, do you know what I mean? All this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Even though they're not here anymore, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and they're still sort of like, you know, producing new stuff with their old stuff, if you sort of mean, or releasing stuff that people have not heard before.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think so much now. I think they've done all that now, do you know what I mean? But they still did start releasing stuff that they, you know, that they written down, but they didn't release. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but you think about all the number of, you know, of people, they come up with a really good idea, but they've not really written about it. Do you know what I mean? They didn't actually put it down on paper.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That happens a lot.
Well, I think like everyone, right, is really, you know, every